In this lecture, we will discuss the important property of Fermat numbers, which is known as Paulia's theorem. In the last lecture, we have already proved one lemma, which is known as Duncan's identity. The identity was the product of first n Fermat numbers f naught f1 into f2 into etc. into fn minus 1 is equal to fn minus 2, where n is greater than or equal to 1. So using this lemma, we are going to prove the Paulia's theorem. This is an important property of Fermat numbers, which states that any two Fermat numbers are relatively prime. That is, if let m and n be distinct, mathematically saying, let m and n be distinct positive non-negative integers, because we are starting with a 0. So we are taking m and n be any two non-negative integers. Any two non-negative integers. Then the Fermat numbers, corresponding Fermat numbers fn and fm are relatively prime. For that, we need to prove that GCD of fm comma fn is equal to 1. We know that any two numbers, any two positive integers are relatively prime if their GCD is equal to 1. So this we want to prove. And I already told that the proof is by using the Duncan's identity. And for convenience, it is given that m and n are two non-negative integers, distinct non-negative integers. So assume for convenience that m is less than n. We are taking for convenience that m is strictly less than n. And one more thing, that GCD of fm comma fn, let it be equal to some d, and we must prove that d is equal to 1. So this we want to prove. For that, we know that if d is equal to GCD of fm comma fn, then by definition of the GCD means it is the greatest common divisor. So d must be a common divisor of fm and fn. That means this, by definition, it implies d divides fm and d divides fn. Since d divides fm, we can say that and we have already taken m is strictly less than n. So we can say that d divides f naught into f1 into f2 into etc. fm into etc. into fn minus 1, since m is strictly less than n and d divides fm. So we will obtain this one. And by Duncan's identity, we know that this is equal to fn minus 2. So this implies d divides fn minus 2. And one more thing we already have is d divides fn. So by the property of divisibility, this will imply that d divides fn if it divides any linear combination of fn and fn minus 2. So d divides fn minus 2, or this will imply that d divides 2, isn't it? So we obtained d divides 2. D divides 2 means we know that d is a common divisor, d is a divisor of 2, and the possible values of d are, so d can be 1 or 2. We know that the only possible divisors of 2 are 1 or 2. So d must be 1 or 2. And what happens if d is equal to 2? We know that all Fermat numbers are odd. So d can't be 2, because d is the GCD of m and n. So g should be a multiple of that means fm and fn should be a multiple of 2 will get. That means it is a even number will obtain. So therefore d is not equal to 2. So therefore the only possible value is d is equal to 1. That means what we obtained is GCD of Fm comma Fn is equal to 1. So any two, that means any two Fermat numbers are relatively prime. This is Paulia's theorem. Okay. Now there is one more generalization for Paulia's theorem, and it says that let Gn is equal to some 2k raised to 2 raised to n plus 1, where k is greater than 0. Then GCD of any two numbers like this, GCD of Gm comma Gn equal to 1, where m not equal to n. So this is the generalization. You can see this in the exercise part and you can prove. Next we will try to prove another theorem that we already proved by another method, that the number of primes is infinite, or there are infinitude of primes. Using Paulia's theorem we can prove this, and we will try how to prove this using Paulia's theorem. So there is infinitude of primes. We know that every number, in the last section we have already, in section 2 we discussed that any positive integer greater than or equal to 2 has a prime factor. We know that any positive integer n greater than or equal to 2 has a prime factor. That we have already proved in the prime and composite numbers section as a lemma. Okay, therefore by Paulia's theorem, and what Paulia's theorem says is that any two Fermat numbers are relatively prime. That means combining these two, that means Paulia's theorem says that Paulia's theorem says what? Paulia's theorem says any two distinct Fermat numbers are relatively prime, or in other words we can say that no two distinct Fermat numbers have common prime factor. So combining both we can say that each has a distinct prime factor. So combining these two results we can say that each Fermat number has a distinct prime factor. Otherwise they can't be relatively prime. And we know that there are infinitely many Fermat numbers. So since there are infinitely many Fermat numbers, we can say that there are infinitely many primes also. So this is a different proof, only we are using this two results, the Paulia's theorem and properties of prime number composite numbers. That means any number n greater than or equal to 2 has a prime factor, that we are using. And another one we are using is, we know that Fermat numbers, any two distinct prime Fermat numbers are relatively prime. Therefore each Fermat number has a distinct prime factor. So we know there are infinitely many Fermat numbers, so obviously there will be, and each has a distinct prime factor. That means number of prime factors or the prime numbers are also infinite. Okay, so let's wind up here. Thank you all.